An Ohio prosecutor is throwing the book at a set of adoptive parents for abandoning their 9-year-old son. Reportedly, last month, Cleveland Cox and his wife Lisa left the boy with the Children's Service Agency after saying he was displaying aggressive behavior. In August, the wife told the sheriff that the boy had threatened the rest of the household with a knife. The couple has raised the boy since infancy. Heidi Cox is an adoption attorney and board member of the National Council for Adoption, as well as the Gladney Center for Adoption, and she joins us on the phone from Fort Worth, Texas. Heidi, thank you for taking a few minutes with us. I do appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
When I read this story, I was a little, outraged by this, that adoptive parents returned their son to the agency. Is this something that happens? Is this unusual?
Well, for a family who adopts a child as an infant, it is very unusual. But in the adoption world, for families who adopt children from foreign countries or out of child protective services, there are situations where there may be a disruption if the child has behaviors that are more than the adoptive family believes they can handle and safely handle for the child and for their family.
And what do you think about the local sheriff's decision to swear out a warrant for the arrest of these parents for child abandonment? Do you agree with that decision?
I don't know that I have enough information to agree or disagree with him. All I know is what has been reported in the media, and it's a tough call. I'm sure the family, it was a tough decision for them, and I hope that the sheriff really evaluated things before he jumped to this extreme conclusion as well.
All right, well, let me ask you about the legal aspect of this. Is there ever a case in a legal adoption that legally adoptive parents can return an adoptive child?
Well, once a family has adopted a child, they step in the role of the legal parent just as if that child had been born to them. So just as if a child were biological to this family and the family wanted to plan an adoption, they could have planned a voluntary adoption for this child. Once the child is adopted, that does not prohibit the new adoptive family from trying to place that child for adoption in the future.
Very, very interesting. I just wonder what you think, what kind of effect this case will have on adoptions, both from hearing the story of a family that was so exasperated that they felt like they had no other choice than to return the child to the agency, as well as local law enforcement's decision to arrest them for it.
Well, my concern is that this story could have a chilling effect on families adopting out of the foster care program. It's my understanding from reading the reports, and I'm only assuming that those reports are accurate, that this child had been adopted from the foster care state program. And the concern is that if you do not have the state that will stand behind you and help you when there are difficulties, and I don't know if they asked for help in this case or not, but the chilling effect could be that new families considering adoption from the foster care system might reconsider that decision.
So what is it that prospective adoptive parents should be prepared for when adopting a child? And I've got to believe that somewhere along the 9 years that this family had this boy, that there had to have been ways to get the help and the support, both for the child and for the family. So what's your advice to families in terms of what to be prepared for when you take in an adopted child?
Right. The problem is you don't know some of the history of a child, especially if a child has been placed from a difficult background, from an orphanage in another country, or from state foster care. This child was placed at a very young age, so there had to be some reason that the state made a removal decision at that very young age.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Families need to be prepared for a lot of different things that could happen. This child had a better chance of success having been adopted as an infant than the child would have had the child been placed at 8, 9, or 10 years of age.
Heidi, I'm going to have to jump in right there. We're completely out of time, but I want to thank you very much for your time and your expertise.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Take care. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.